So I guess Kiva, it'll just be you and me for now anyway, and hopefully the others will join us shortly. Go ahead and minimize that. You should be able to see my screen. It is the light blue screen with the Transcend toolbar running across the top. If you're not able to see my screen, please let me know. Other than that, we're going to go ahead and get started. So this is the online store class, and in this class, we learn about setting up the online store. And in the online store, you're able to do three major things, and that is appointments online, gift certificate or gift card sales online, and retail product sales online. So we're going to go ahead and, one more thing. I do want you to be aware that I am recording this class. So when the class is over, if you'd like, I can send you a copy of the class that you just attended. When the class is over, I'll ask you if you'd like to do that. Okay, so in order to set up the online store, the first thing we need to do is click on the button that says Online that you'll find on your Transcend toolbar towards the right. And it'll bring up this Setup Online Store window. It's a little bit, it looks a little complicated, but don't worry, we're going to go over each field, and it's all very simple. The first thing we see here is existing website address. And so you put in your business's website address here. Next is email address. This is optional. This is not required. However, if you want to be notified when somebody books an appointment online or somebody purchases a product online or something like that, then you can put in an email address here. And you might think, well, then why is it optional? I really need to know those things. Well, because those things you'll be known anyway, whether you put the email address in or not. For instance, if somebody books an appointment online, the appointment will actually be on the appointment book itself with its own unique color and the word web next to it so that you know that it was booked online. Also, if somebody made a purchase of a product online, for instance, your point of sale screen will get an alert pop up to let you know that somebody has made a purchase online so that you can fill their order and send it out to them. Of course, if they purchase a gift certificate online, they can actually use the email feature so that the gift certificate will be emailed to them and they can download it and then walk right into your store and use it. The nice thing about that is there's nothing you need to do to make that happen. It's a direct communication with the software, so when somebody makes a purchase of a gift certificate online, they can print it out right from home, walk into your shop and use it, and your software is aware of it. So there's nothing you need to do there. You certainly don't have to ship them out a gift certificate. Next is terms and conditions. And by the way, just to remind you, because you are using the chat log rather than the microphone, if you have any questions at all, please just simply type them in as they come up so that, and I will pay attention to the chat log so that I can answer your questions for you. And I will repeat your question if you do type something into the chat log so that when you get the recorded message, the recorded version of this, if you choose to, you'll know the questions that were asked, and you'll hear my voice answering them, of course. Okay, so terms and conditions. This is just a big blank white box when you first start this. So you get to type in anything you want into this field. And what I've done here is all purchases of gift certificates or cards or products online are final sales. No refunds are available. We require 48-hour advance notice of any cancellation or rescheduling of an online appointment, etc. So whatever information you feel your customers need, that's what you're going to write here under your terms and conditions. Next, the bottom message. In the online store, which is a web page, there is a little tiny line of text at the very bottom of that online store, and it can say anything you want it to say. So what I've written is Pro Solution Software Inc., 2017, all rights reserved. Yours might say the same thing, with the name of your business here, or maybe it says something to the effect of, if you have any questions, please call, and a telephone number or something like that. It's just a tiny little line of text at the very bottom of the page. It can be whatever you want it to be. Next is the API login and the API transaction key. These are optional, and they're optional because they're not required if the only thing you want to use is appointments online. However, if you want to be able to sell gift certificates or retail online, then you must be able to accept credit cards online. To accept credit cards online, you must have an API login and an API transaction key put in here. We use Authorize.net as the payment gateway. Now, that is not your payment processor. You can go with any credit card processor you like, but whomever the credit card processor is, and we recommend that you use our preferred provider, Vantiv, but you don't have to. Whichever credit card processor you use, you must get what's called an online merchant ID from them. And then with that online merchant ID, you're going to go to this website, authorize.net. And here in authorize.net, when you click on Getting Started, you can create an account. And when you create an authorize.net account, you will be assigned a login and transaction key. And that's what you're going to put in here. Our software communicates with authorize.net as the payment gateway so that your customers are able then to use their credit cards to make purchases through your online store. So the next thing we're going to do is the main image, the side banner image, and the bottom banner image. Now I've already uploaded these three images, so let's take a look at what my store looks like. Notice I've got these three images, and I have my main color, this light pink, and my background color, this light purple. So let's take a look at what it actually looks like. So this is what it looks like right now. And if I wanted to make changes to it, all I need to do is make those changes right in the software. So under main image, I'm going to click on upload, and I get to upload any picture I want. Now, you probably want to have them in the format that you see here. This is the proper format to use the space properly. You can send an email to graphics, Graphics, graphics at prosolutionssoftware.com. When you send that email, you can say, hey, what are the specs for the banners for the online store? And they can supply you with the specs so that you can make sure that you create your artwork in the proper format. Or, even better, you can ask them to make them for you. If you have artwork for them, you can email that to them and say, will you please make my banners for me? They will create them for you and email them back to you. And it is always free of charge to use our graphic arts department. One more thing I want you to be aware of, they will work with you until the banners are exactly what you want them to be. So you don't have to worry about they sent you some banners and now you're stuck with those and you have to use them. So they will certainly do that for you. Now, if you are using the cloud application, you can only upload images as JPEGs. If, however, you are using the installed version of the software, then you can upload a GIF, a JPEG, a TXT, or a PNG for your banners. So how is it done? Once the artwork is on your computer, you simply hit Browse, and then you're able to go to wherever it is you have that artwork. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go into where I keep some other artwork here. Go to my online store here, and I'm going to upload a new image for my top banner that I have on my computer already. Now watch this when I press upload. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, less than 5 seconds to get my new image up there. Now I'm going to hit upload again for my side banner. I'm going to change my side banner. And I'm going to go with this one here with the foot and upload. 1, 2, there we go. Just a couple of seconds that time. And now we're going to put in my bottom banner. And go with my bottom banner here and upload. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's uploaded. So it doesn't take very long. Now I'm going to change my main color from this light pink. I'm going to go to a light green. And I'm going to change my background color. And I'm going to make that a nice dark green, like a pine green. Let's take a look at the changes I've made. I'm going to press save. And let's go back in and let's refresh my screen. Okay, that looks quite a bit different. Although these pink buttons here really don't flow very well with all of this green that I've got going. So I'm going to jump down. I'm going to skip all of this. I'm going to jump down to my button colors, and I'm going to change that. I have all of these different options: blue, red, yellow, green, pink, brown, orange, and black. Now, even though that's not every color available, it certainly should be enough colors so that you can match your current website. So I'm going to go with green and save. Now let's take a look. Let's go back in here and refresh. Aha, this looks a lot better now. So I've really changed the look of my online storefront. Now I go down, after I've changed my main color and my background color, I come to my font size. Your font size is defaulted to the number 3. And we recommend that you leave it at 3 or perhaps change it to 4, but don't go any bigger than that. Then you're going to start messing with the format. So again, The standard size is 3, and that is what's already there for you. You can just leave it that way, or you can change it to 4 if you want it to be a little bit bigger. Nothing bigger than 4. The font name, we also have this one already input for you, and it says Arial. And that's what we recommend you leave it at. That is the easiest read font on and most common found online because of how easy it is to read. You can change your font to anything you want it to be, simply by putting in a new font name here. But that font must be a font that you have installed on your computer. So again, we simply recommend that you leave it at Arial, which is the default. Next is our font color. In order to change colors, you click on the boxes. So our font color, if I wanted to change it, I would click on the box, choose my color, and hit OK. Now, it's very important that you understand what I'm about to tell you. Your main color and your font color are related. And what I mean by that is that your fonts, the words that you are going to type in, are going to be layered over this main color. Because of that, we highly recommend that your font color contrast greatly with your main color. So if your main color is light, then your font color should be very dark. If your main color is dark, then your main color should be very light, like yellow or white. Again, the reason for that is because if your main color is dark, like let's say a dark purple, and you chose black as your font color, it's going to be exceedingly difficult to read. So make sure you have a high contrast between your main color and your font color. Next is the hyperlink color. Your customers are going to be able to go to different parts of your store using hyperlinks. And what I've said is I want my hyperlinks to be this blue. Again, you can make it any color you'd like. But I'm going to, whoops, don't want it to be black. I want it to be this nice light blue there, a bright blue. Actually, I prefer a darker blue, so I'm going to go with that. There we go. So I've got my nice dark blue there, and then my previously visited link color. If your customer has already visited a particular link, it will change it to this burgundy that I've selected, or whatever color you've selected. The mouse over link color. Whenever you bring your mouse over a link, it's going to change to whatever color you've put here. That way you know you're about to activate that hyperlink simply by left-clicking on it. Then is my active hyperlink. I simply say I like it to be the same color as my hyperlink color. You can make it any color you'd like. Once we've made those changes, we press save, and our storefront is now created. Our storefront now exists. But that doesn't mean that the store works. It just means that you've created the storefront. Now we need things to go inside the store, and there are 3 options: appointment booking, retail sales, and gift certificate sales. To set those up, we use these 3 buttons: appointments, gift cards, and retail. If I click on appointments, it brings me up to this setup online appointments window. Again, it may look a little bit confusing, but we're going to go over each one of the steps right now. This is how you set up your online appointments. So the first thing that we want to do is type in a welcome message. So mine says, welcome to our online booking feature. If you have not yet registered, please click on the Create Your Free Account Now and assign yourself a username and password. If you have already created an account, please feel free to log right in. So let's take a look. If I click on Book Now, that's exactly what I get. Welcome to our online booking feature. If you have not, blah, 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 blah. The very same thing that you just saw. Now I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to change this. I'm going to add a name, and I'm going to add Kiva. And then I'm going to save my change. So we're going to go back in here and refresh my screen, and now it says Kiva at the end of it. The point is whatever you write in there, your customers are going to see instantly. So make sure that it says what you want it to say, make sure that the grammar is correct, and that your spelling is accurate as well. You never want to put yourself forward in a poor light. Notice my hyperlinks. They're that nice dark blue I chose. And if there's a hyperlink that I've already visited, like home and store, then they're that burgundy I chose. And when I bring my mouse over any hyperlink, they turn into that hot pink that I chose. So it's all working just the way I want it to work. So let's go back in here. So after we type in our welcome screen message, we type in our confirmation message. When your customer has successfully booked an appointment online, they're going to get a confirmation message. They're also going to get an email that will include that confirmation message as well. So my confirmation message simply says, congratulations, you have successfully booked your appointment online. You can use whatever you'd like. Next is the cancellation policy. Whatever your cancellation policy is for your online bookings, make sure you've written it here. That cancellation policy will not only appear throughout the process of booking an appointment, but it will also be on the email that is sent to them when they actually book their appointment online. Next, we have show prices. If this is blue, by clicking on it, this will show your default prices for your services. If it is gray, it will not show your default prices. So your services will not have any prices next to them. Now, you might say, well, why wouldn't I want my prices showing? Well, in a lot of locations, salons or spas, they oftentimes have different providers with different prices. So the price varies based on who it is you're seeing. Or maybe the service itself simply varies in price based on their skin type or their hair length or whatever it may be. Because you have very variable prices, you may not want to show your prices. Instead, you may simply have some verbiage written in the welcome message or other places on your website that simply say that prices may vary. Now we have our hours in advance. What this means is this. I've put a 1 in here, and that's going to advance me 1 hour. So hours in advance, it's the minimum number of hours in advance that a client must book. If you enter 0, the client will be able to book for the current hour. So what does that mean? Well, let's say it's 9 o'clock in the morning, and I go to your website, and I'm going to book myself an appointment. Well, then the first appointment I would be able to see would be 10 o'clock, if it was available, of course. If it's not available, then it'll choose something else. But the first available appointment I would see would be 10 o'clock because it's currently 9 o'clock, and I've put 1 hour in advance here. I don't want somebody going online at 9 a.m. to book an appointment for 9 a.m. So I'm advancing it by 1 hour. You can advance it more than that, or you can put it at 0, and so they could book at 9 at 9. Then max days out. Max days out works the same way as hours in advance, but it's based on the number of days. So by putting a 0 here, they can book on the same day that they're on site. However, if I put a 1 in here and they went to book on site, then the first available option would be for tomorrow. If I put a 2 in here, the first available option would be for the day after tomorrow, as long as they're available. So that's what max days out is. Then your cancellation policy. In this case, I've said 48. This is the number of hours. So I've said 48 hours advance notice is required under my cancellation policy here, so I'm putting 48 as my cancel policy here as well. No matter what you've written here, though, this number could be different. Maybe because you say, I don't want people canceling their appointments online. If they're going to cancel their appointment, they have to call me. Well, if that's the case, then I might even put in 480 here. So then instead of 2 days, it would be 20 days. That means that if it was within 20 days, they would not be able to cancel their appointment online. They would have to call you. If I put in 720, that would be 30 days. So you can really prevent them from unbooking their appointments online if you choose to. But if you do something like this, then as long as they're outside of 2 days, they'd be able to unbook their own appointments. Next, booking color. Whatever color you choose here, and you choose it the same way as you do any other color, simply by clicking on the box and selecting the color you want, that is the color of any booking online. So when a customer books an appointment and it appears right on your appointment book, it will be this hot yellow in this case, or whatever color you've chosen. Next, only book on the. You have these options. Book on the hour, book on the half hour, the quarter hour, 10 minutes, and 5 minutes. We recommend booking on the hour or the half hour, but these options are available to you as well. The reason we recommend that is because we want it to be fairly clean for your customers. For instance, if you were wide open for 5 full hours tomorrow, let's say from 12 to 5, then if somebody went to book, they would be given options of 12, 1, 2, 3, and 4. However, if you had said on the half hour, then they would be given the options of 12, 12:30, 1, 1:30, 2, 2:30, etc. But if you started getting into things like the quarter hour, then 12, 12:15, 12:30, 12:45, 1 o'clock, 1:15, etc. It starts to really lengthen how many options they have. By the time you get down to 5 minutes, those same 5 hours would give them 60 options. So it starts to get a little bit crazy. So again, we recommend the hour or the half hour, but if you've just got to be able to use these, well, they're here for you. Next, after we filled all of this out, we move over here to the right side. You've got 3 different boxes here: operators, groups, and services. With operators, these are your staff. And anybody that you put a check next to is a person that cannot be booked online. Notice it says here, select which operators, groups, and/or services will be restricted from online scheduling. So again, if you have put a check next to their name, they are restricted. They cannot be booked online if there is a check next to their name. Next, we come down to our groups. You have groups of services, and you may say that you want to be able to restrict certain groups. Any check next to a group, that whole group and all of the services within it will not be able to be booked online if you have a check next to it. Then we get down to individual services. So you may have a group like massage that you do allow to be booked online. Notice there's no check over here under massage. But on the right-hand side, you may have certain massages that you don't want booked online. Again, you can place a check next to individual services that you do not want booked online, even if the group they're in can be booked online. Once you have set all of your check marks, simply press Save, and now you can exit. By doing this, your customers, let's go ahead and start from the beginning, your customers will be able to now use your online appointment feature. So they can create themselves an account, assign themselves a username and password, and with that username and password, they'll be able now to log right in. They can then choose one of your groups of services that you allow bookings online, like, for instance, massage. Once they've selected the group, they're able to choose from a list of services. So I'm going to go, for instance, with a Swedish 60, and then once they've chosen the service, they will be given a list of your providers that can provide that service. So for instance, I'll say Abigail, and then choose a specific date that they would like to book the appointment. Today is the 27th. Let's book it for Thursday, the 28th, and check available times. Now remember, I said only on the hour. So my available times with Abigail are 9, 10, 11, because it's wide open. This is sample data. She's got an open book. So I'm going to go ahead and say they want to book at 12 noon for a Swedish 60 with Abigail. And now I can continue to confirmation. Current treatment selected. Below are the services that you've chosen. I can book this appointment, or I can add another service to my cart, or I can start all over. I'm going to say book the appointment. By doing so, I receive an email and I get this information here. Your appointment has been booked successfully, services that have been scheduled for you. Thank you, Bella, for booking with us today, and 48 hours advance notice is required, etc. Now let's take a look at the software. Let's go into the appointment book and let's go to Thursday. And we should be able to see under Abigail's name, let's go to our massages here. Under Abigail's name, there's Bella for a Swedish 60 at 12 o'clock, and it's in the Elixir room. The appointment has been successfully booked. And notice it's that hot yellow I told you about, and it has the word web next to it. So I know that this appointment was booked online. Really easy and simple. That is the process of booking an appointment online. Unless you have any questions, we're going to move on to gift certificates online. I'll give you just a moment to type in a question if you have one. If not, we'll go ahead. Okay, go right ahead. I see that you do have a question. I'll wait for you to type it. For anybody who may be watching this video later, I am simply waiting for the question that is being typed in right now. All right, the question is, if one stylist only performs, say, a Brazilian blowout, and the others do not, would that stylist need to have his or her own group? No, absolutely not. Let me show you what I mean. When you set up your services, for instance, let's go with a hair service, and let's go with a Brazilian blowout. Whoops, there we go, Brazilian blowout. Now, I have all of the different operators that currently perform that service. So there they are. However, you might say, no, there's only one person that does. So then what I can do is I can choose anybody that doesn't perform the service and simply check this box. After I choose their name, I check this box, operator does not do this service, and save. Then I can do that for each one of my operators that does not perform that service, eventually leaving only one that does. That way, they're all still in the hair group and they can still do all of these other things, but only one operator would be available for a Brazilian blowout. So no, you do not have to have a specific group for a specific provider. Okay? Any other questions before we move on to gift certificates online? Now, Kiva, because this is just you and me right now, because there are no other attendees in this class, if you are not interested in gift certificates online, we can move to retail online. And if you are not interested in retail online, we can end the class. So you let me know. Would you like me to continue on to gift certificates online? Normally I wouldn't ask that, but with it just being you and me, we can ask that question. Would you like me to continue with? Oh, so okay. So you were just looking for appointments online? Okay. Now, Kiva, before I let you go then, there is one more thing I want you to be aware of. Appointments Online also has a very powerful tool using the app. So very quickly, I want to show you something here. I'm going to go to, let's see here, I've got it hidden in here somewhere. There we go, the apps. I'm going to go to the client app, and I just want to very briefly show you the way your customers would use it using the app. So, of course, it would have your artwork and your name. Your customer then would click on the book button. They would then be able to choose a group, and they would see a window like this with a list of your groups. And, of course, they could scroll through if there was more than that. Then, after they've chosen a group, they can then click on Choose Service, and they would be able to choose from your list of services. They would then be able to choose from your operators, and they would be listed here, or they could select any. Next, they'd be able to choose a date. This is all on their smartphone for both the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Then they can check times available with the provider that they selected, and by selecting Continue, they'll be shown everything they're about to do, and they can book the appointment, add another service, or start over. And if they choose Book the Appointment, then it will give them their information. The appointment will also, the process will also send them an email with all of the information, as well as it being in their app. And more importantly, just like with the website, the appointment will actually appear right on the appointment book. So I just wanted you to be aware of that. The app is only available for cloud customers. So if you're in the cloud, that is available to you. Until the end of the year, it is absolutely free. But if you are in the installed version, unfortunately, the app is not currently available for you. One thing, though, I do want you to be aware of, if you are in the installed version, you can move to the cloud, and we will waive the migration fee to move to the cloud up until the first of the year, if you wanted to give that a shot. Okay, well then, thank you so much for attending this class with me today. I look forward to having you in future classes, and thank you again, because the people who know most about the software are the people who end up being happiest with it. Would you like this class emailed to you? Okay, let's see if I've got your email address here. No, I don't. What is the email address you'd like me to send it to? Just type it into the chat, I'll copy it down, and I will get this email out to you within the next hour. Okay, I've got it. Thank you so much. You're welcome, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.